Thank you for joining. We're going to go over some of the library resources. Let me just open my screen.
And while she's working on that, this is Miss Lauralee Ambries. She is the head librarian at our Northwest Campus Library.
Thank you. Okay, so this is the main page for the EPCC libraries. You can either Google it. If you put EPCC libraries on Google, it'll take you here, or you can do a search within the EPCC website. It's epcc.edu/services/libraries. And as you scroll down, maybe you are familiar or not with this banner that says online assistant available, get connected. That will take you to a virtual room. That's a virtual reference desk where we have librarians. And I'm gonna open it so you can see the hours from Monday through Sunday. Sundays and Saturdays is 9 to 5, and Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And lucky me, the number that you would call anyway, it would be me. So this is my number, 831-8886. So feel free to call me within those hours and I'll be happy to help you, or you can come into the Get Connected. I'm also going to give you my email, so feel free to ask any questions. If you have any books checked out, all the book drops are closed, but the deadline has been extended until October 31st. Libraries are closed, but if you really, since you have a very specific topic to research, if you really need a print book, I'll be happy to set up an appointment and you can curbside pick up the material. Okay, we're not really promoting the service, but for classes that have specific research like yours, we are providing that service. If you need a print book that relates to your topic, we'll be happy to check it out to you and you can pick it up without getting out of your car. Okay. Below that, we have additional resources. I'm going to point out the library research guides. And in here, we're going to go where it says history. Yeah. And then Dr. Melissa Esmacher. And this is your very specific LibGuide for your class. She has done an amazing job for your media list here that you can see by class. And we're not going to cover that, but I just want you to know that it's there for a future assignment. You don't want to mention anything at all?
Sure. So that is for your final paper, right? Your final exam is a media analysis paper. So we're going to have a session, the 16-week class, we'll have a session with Ms. Ambries when we get closer to finals week, specifically about that assignment. For those of you who were in my mini one, the 8-week class, we won't have a second session specifically with Ms. Ambries about the media analysis, but as she said, she is available to help you out on that if you have any questions.
Thank you. And then at the bottom, you also have the assignments. And then on the right-hand side, you have some library handouts that I'm going to be covering throughout this session. And the first one that I want to point out is the search strategy worksheet. This one is going to be helpful for this class or any class that you have to either write a paper or do some research on any given topic. So you would write your research question here. It could be something within the context, time period, an event, the title of the film, or anything that you are researching. So it could be a specific research topic, it could be a question or the title of something. Then this will guide you to break down your topic or subject into 3 different keywords. Let's say you're talking about, give me a historical event right now. I blanked out.
Let's do, because this is 1301, let's say the American Revolution.
American Revolution. So then you can write here American Revolution, that's your main topic. Then you can break it by either time period, place, or any main people from those events. And then you can keep breaking it up into different key terms. And then at the bottom, where are the sources that you're going to use? So this will be very helpful for either your first paper or your final assignment. I'm going to go back to the LibGuide. Then the other handout here is the citation styles. You are allowed to use either MLA, APA, or Chicago. And this will give you a 4 pages handout that has how to cite print resources in any of those 3 styles or online resources. So it'll compare side to side, and this will help you to make sure that you have the correct citation. Most of our databases will give you a pre-formatted citation. It's already done for you, but it's computer generated. So always please come back and double check, make sure the comma is where it's supposed to be. If it's italics, underline, whatever you need to do, make sure it's in the correct format. So this will help you double check, okay? And I go back to the LibGuide. So you have different tabs. The one that says articles and databases. This will give you access to any of the electronic resources that we have at EPCC. As a starting point, I really recommend Credo Reference. I compare it to Google or Wikipedia, but it's a good starting point that will give you, was it American Revolution, correct?
Yes.
So we'll give you general information. And then I like that they have this mind map that will give you related topics. So right now I was asking about American Revolution. I said related people or places. So these can become your additional keywords, different related subjects. Also, it will give you encyclopedia articles from reliable sources that you can also cite for your assignments, whether it's your essay or your final assignment. And they're easy to read. You can read aloud, and then you have the citation tools that I was mentioning before. Uh, Depending on what you're using, APA, Chicago, or MLA, you just select the correct one. And then you can highlight and copy into your paper, or we have something called Noodle Tools. I'm going to explain it in a bit, that you can also transfer it directly from this database into your Noodle Tools. Okay, I'm going to go back. Any questions on this database? No? Okay. And then here you also have Google Scholar, and you have the EBSCO Discovery Service. EBSCO Discovery Service will be the equivalent to Google, but from all the reliable sources that we have in the library. So this is our search engine. When you're here, make sure that you see this label here that says Hello Guest, log in for full access. That will give you the remote access from home. This means that you are offside the EPCC network. So you click on that one and you authenticate with the same credentials that you use for your email or Blackboard, and just sign in. And it'll authenticate you as an EPCC student, and you'll be able to access the full text. Okay, once you're here, this first article that has like a light bulb, it's a Start Your Research. It's also an encyclopedia article that will give you background information, general info. You can also read aloud. You can cite it on the right hand side. Always be able to track back any materials that you find that you think are relevant or that you'll be using for your assignment. Make sure that you either save it into your Google Drive, print it, email it to yourself, or at least save it. And also cite. Here you can find the citation, and then depending what you're using, APA. You don't have to click here. This will just give you information about APA. You just highlight or select the citation, and then you can right hand click and copy it and paste it into either Noodle Tools or your paper. Okay. And then again, if you find a book that you really think you need it for your assignment, and if it's at the Northwest campus, please let us know, and we'll be happy to have it curbside. If it's in another campus, I would need to make arrangements with the other librarians, but it's still doable. But preferably, if you want something print, select something from the Northwest campus. Okay, I'm gonna go up. The easiest thing, if you don't want to drive anywhere, then it's select ebooks. If you filter by ebooks, these are books that will be easily available from home. You just go to access this resource, and it'll take you to the full text of the material. I'm gonna turn off my video to see if the loading is faster a little bit. It's taking a while. Let me try another one. Okay, this is taking less. All right, so you can browse through the table of contents, or if there's something specific that you already know that you're gonna be talking about, you can make it smaller or bigger. There's your zoom in and zoom out at the bottom. And then also, let's see. Okay. You have your table of contents, or you can do a search within the textbook. Well, this is where I already know it's about women.
Abigail Adams. Let's try searching for Abigail Adams.
Okay. Okay, so this will tell you exactly in which pages she is mentioned, and it's even highlighted for you. So if that's what you're focusing on, again, you need to break down and focus your topic. You're talking about the American Revolution, but what about it? And then focusing on Abigail Adams, and then you'll highlight the topic for you in all the pages that she's mentioned. Okay, you can download up to 25 pages of the book at the same time, print or save the pages, and then you can also cite it. Same thing, APA, MLA, any of the formats that you decide to use. So again, just on one topic, American Revolutions, there's over 267,000 electronic books. So again, but if you still have the need for a print book, we'll be happy to help you. But there's plenty of electronic resources, and that's just ebooks alone. I'm gonna go back to all results. You also have magazines, academic journals. Most of them are all full text. If you want to ensure that it is full text, then you can select, sorry, I'm highlighting the wrong. Okay, you can do the show more options, and then you can just say here if you have dates or something. That way we can limit your search. Those are the two options that you can do. But again, I recommend doing the all results. That if you want to stay away from the print, then you can select the ebooks or the journals. Okay, so this is again our main search engine. I'm gonna go back to the LibGuide. There are other specific databases for history that I would recommend. We have this new one that about historical newspapers, biographies. The other one that I highly recommend is JSTOR Essential. That's one of the most recent ones that we acquire, and it's all scholarly resources. I'm gonna stick to her to see what comes up. Yeah. And again, you can immediately download the PDF, save it. It also has a citation tools in MLA, APA, or Chicago. You can export to the Noodle tools, or you can copy paste onto your paper. And I'm not gonna open all of them because they're very, very similar, just depends on your topic, but they all have the citation tools. If you want more general topics, we also have all of this here. And then I'm gonna go to where it says citations and writing styles. This is Noodle Tools, the one that I've been mentioned. It's a bibliographic software that will help you format all your references. And if you get this, you have been automatically authenticated, you should be fine. If you already have an account, you can just sign on. If not, you can register. What happened? It doesn't want my... Actually, I should create a new one because my old one, it's kind of full already. So you can see it's easy to create. You would put that you're a student. It'll ask you just for your expected year of graduation. I'm going to use a different email so it doesn't tell me I already have an account. Okay, so this is how it looks once you create the account. This is the main dashboard, and you'll see that it says My Projects. Here, every assignment will be a project. It's not per class, but per assignment. So you create a new project, and you just would put History 1301 essay, and then make sure that you select one citation style and you stick to it throughout, because then to change it might be a little difficult. You might need to start all over. So if you decide that you're going to go with MLA, just keep it as that. Always leave it in advance, so it'll give you more different formats, and then submit.
Lorelei, we have a question. So
So
Destiny
Destiny
is
is
saying her
saying her
Noodle
noodle
Tools says
tools
she
that
needs a
she needs a
school or
school or
library
library
password.
No, she doesn't. Did she click on the link from the LibGuide? For some reason, oh, okay. Now I can see them. Okay, no, you shouldn't be required to do that. Once you are, let me go back to the guy. Hold on. When you're here, if you click on this link, you shouldn't be asked for that. It should ask you to authenticate with your APCC credentials. If you go directly to the Noodle Tool site, yes, it'll ask you for that, but you need to come here and go directly to that. I'm gonna put this link on the chat. So try to go there. Did you had a previous account? Okay. All right. Maybe I'll contact you directly so that we can fix your account. Let me write your name. And we can go ahead and reset it. Okay, no problem. All right. Where was I? There's somebody on the waiting room, I think. No.
I'll double
I'll
check.
double check.
Oh no, somebody requested control. Sorry. Let me just. Okay. Okay, so we already have a project here. Again, I left it on MLA. You can always come here, options, and change style or anything. But again, your citations will change. It's preferably that you stick to one style, one you decide which one you're going to use throughout that paper. Not throughout the class. Let's say you want to do your first one on MLA and the second one on APA. That'll be okay. But throughout one paper, try to stay into one writing style. So I'm going to open this essay. This is a dashboard for that project. You don't need to do anything on this one. You would go into sources. And here is where you can start adding your actual citations. You would do a new source. Database is anything that is coming from an authenticated database where you have to put a username and password, register or pay. Either you go through, Okay, you either go through a database through the library, or even if it's through a website, but mainly databases is anything enclosed that you have to authenticate to get access to, and mainly from EPCC. Website, anything that it's of public domain that you just can Google it. You don't have to put in any credentials or pay for it. that would be a website. You can also find journal articles, magazines, newspapers, electronic books, anything on the open web. So that's why you need to understand the difference between those two. Printer in hand, anything that you have physically available. If you print an article from a website or a database, it's still a database or a website. Printer in hand, it's like a bound book, a magazine, a newspaper that you grab from the store or the library, that would be your print resources. Or if you're citing your own textbook, that will be printer in hand. Unless it's an electronic one that you're grabbing from a website or database. View her live. It could be a lecture from your instructor, something you heard on a podcast, video, any of that, YouTube. That could be view her live. File app ebook, I wouldn't worry. Ebook, this is an ebook that somebody transferred to you through a device like a CD or a DVD or a USB or any of that. This one I wouldn't worry about it. You're hardly gonna use this one, but it's still available. I don't think none of you even know what microform is, so you can leave the last two tabs alone. Those are kind of like old resources that's still there because some archivists still use it. Okay. So you just select the one from here, let's say database, and you're gonna cite an electronic book. So like the ones I show you, you select database and then book. And you can type everything yourself, or you can do copy and paste a citation. There's an option here, and it'll give you like a blank square where you can paste the information. So let's go back here. Let's say I'm gonna cite this one, cite this item. I'm using MLA. Wow, it's really taking a while to load. Let me refresh the page. See if that helps. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna copy this citation and then back to the Noodle tools, and then I can just paste it. And that's all you have to do and save it. And it'll keep your citation. If you decide later that you found better resources, that you don't want this anymore, you can go to options and you can delete it. Or you can edit and add more things to it. You can also have a space for annotations if you want to take notes on your articles, or paste here the quotes that you're going to actually use on your essay. So this will give you a space to do electronic annotations of what you read on that article. And then you can save it again. The other way you can do it is you can just export directly to Noodle Tools, but you need to have the Noodle Tools project where you're going to export to open like we already do. So just click on Export to Noodle Tools and you review that that's the one that you want. This reference looks good. And then you just export it. Okay, those are the two ways that you can do it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to your LibGuide. There are other resources here if you need more help with citations. Oh, forgot to mention one thing on Noodle Tools. Once you're done with all your resources, if you click here where it says print export formatting options, how you want it, as a works cited, as a bibliography, words consulted, and then it'll even do the header for you. So I'm just gonna say, you can do the title, the custom title, you can do your last name, depending what you want or how your instructor instructions are set. And then you go back here and then you export to Word. You just save the file, whatever you want to save it. Then once you open it, all your references, maybe for your first essay, if it's 2 resources, it's easier just to copy paste the citations, but for your final paper, since you're going to have more resources, it'll be easier to do this, especially when you have, I would say 5 or more, this is worth it. Oh, let me share that screen. It opened, but it opened on Word. Hold on. Okay, right now, since I only have one resource, that's why you're just showing one, but it'll do the indent for you, the double spacing, the alphabetical order, any formatting, it'll be done for you on Neural Tools. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the LibGuide. There's another tab that says websites. This will be useful for your final paper. These are curated resources from the web that your instructor has already approved. So these are different websites that you can go and search within each of them, or you can use this custom Google search that will search on all of those databases. And here what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna do it the way you're supposed to do, the title of your film. And if it's more than one keyword, you would put it in quotes. And if you were taking notes, once I'm done putting this, take a photo or take a note. So your film title in quotes, and then in parentheses, you would put movie or film. The and the or are Boolean operators, so they must be uppercase so they can combine your terms and do the search. So here you would just substitute the film title for your actual film title, and then you just do movie or film. Okay? So I'm gonna substitute mine now. If you wanna take a photo or notes of that, and then I'm gonna do mine. So Casablanca. So what this is doing is on all those listed websites, I know you can go into Google, but you're gonna find thousands or millions of resources, and going through them to see which ones are reliable sources or that have accurate historical facts, that's gonna take you a while. So these are again already curated for you. Just stay away from the ones that might say ads and scroll down. And this right here, your results will start. And these are all relevant resources related to the actual film that I'm searching for. Okay. And once you know what is it that you're gonna focus on, you by all means you can add additional terms. Like that, you can start adding additional terms if you already know what is it that you're gonna focus on. And from 2000 some results, it went down to 792 because now I'm being more specific. And now I have a result that it's related to the Casablanca and propaganda, wartime, things like that. Okay, so as you go, you can be more specific. Okay, I'm gonna start here to see if you all have any questions. No questions? Everything is crystal clear?
Maybe they're still waking up.
Maybe. Okay, thank you.
We have a question.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry, a comment. Thomas says crystal clear. You're doing a good job, Lorelei.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think I've covered all the basic. The rest is more mainly the film stuff. I don't know if you want me to cover anything else.
I think that's good with the basics. Did anybody have any particular questions, maybe about your next paper that you're writing, or the whatchamacallit, the final project? So the final project, you can do a you pick a film or video game from the approved list. and you write a paper on it. So that means we have resources throughout the semester. There's that. Oh, yeah, perfect. She'll bring up the list. So the list is curated by time period. So the colonial era, the American Revolution, the early Republic. So it goes through the different eras that we cover in class. And it will also have under topics, it'll let you know if it is a video game. And it will also give you the general sort of themes of the film. So if you want to pick a film that you've already seen and watched, loved, I have lots of people who write on The Patriot. Or Django Unchained is another popular one. That's fine. If you want to write on a film that you've never seen before, maybe you're interested in biographies, write films about real people. Maybe you're interested about women or war. You can kind of see from the topics what films might fit within that theme and maybe discover a new film that you've never seen before and you want to look at. The goal of this assignment is to watch the film or look at the video game and think about what this has to say about the past. So imagine that, because most people, right, if they're playing video games, like I know Assassin's Creed Valhalla is coming out soon. By the way, that is not an option for your class. That is an option for my world history students, not for y'all, because it's not American history, it's Vikings. But, people will play that game, right? Or they'll go and see a film, but they don't always necessarily have the background in history, right? Having taken like history classes. And so they might look at that and be like, okay, well, that's what the past was really like, and not question it, right? So the idea is to look at this and to see whether the history that's covered in the film does a good job, right, of matching up with what we know happened, looking at the textbook, looking at other research sources that you can find here through the LibGuide. And I'm constantly updating it. If there's a film that you're like, oh, this totally fits within American history during our time period, but it's not on the list, shoot me an email message and let me know and be like, hey, can I look at this film? Make sure you do that like before the deadline though. Because sometimes there's a reason why a film or video game is not on the list. The last thing you want to do is write on something that is not on the list and you didn't get cleared by me, because then you would get a 0 if it doesn't apply to our class. So just be aware of that. I would say usually by like midway through the semester, at least, because I want you to start thinking about it sooner rather than later. First come first? No. Okay, so Thomas asks, is it first come first serve? Only one person may write about one topic? No. In theory, all of y'all could write papers on Django Unchained, and I would have to grade all of them. What I have found is that sometimes there are like waves of lots of people writing on a particular film, usually if it's new. Or one semester, I was like, why do I have so many papers on Remember the Titans from my History 1302? And it turned out that it was on like ABC, like the week before the deadline for the paper. And so lots of people had seen it on TV and were like, oh, I'll write on this one. So no, you can pick whatever is most interesting to you and I will grade it.
I want to add there that not only she has done a tremendous job, your instructor, on putting those lists together, but also in helping us enhance the Northwest Library collection. So if you need that film, if you're not subscribed to Netflix, Amazon, or any of those, and you need a film that it's not available on whatever you subscribe to, most of the DVDs are in our collection. Again, reminding you of the curbside assistance. So if you select on time, even though that's kind of wait till the end of the semester, if you can select on time and if you need to pick up that DVD from the library, I'll be more than happy to do the curbside service for you so you don't have to pay for Netflix or any other service.
Yeah, I think most of the films are on there, maybe not some of the ones that came out this year or last year. We've been trying to add them as they come out, but I know that budget freeze due to the pandemic.
Yeah, we have the new budget, so I did allocate money for DVDs, so So as soon as, I guess I'll have a staff check your list so we can see which ones are we missing and we can add them so they'll be ready by the time they need them.
Awesome.
But yeah, most of them are. So start looking to see if you subscribe or if you need the DVD so you can let your instructor know, we can have them ready for you. Let us know, I'm sorry, and we can have them ready for you.
The library does have a really impressive collection of DVDs for this assignment. They've been spending the past couple of years just gradually adding.
Mm-hmm. So any other questions? I put my email and my phone number. Again, it's also on the LibGuide. So you can tweet me, Teams, email, phone, any of them. I'll be happy to help.
All right, if there are no other questions, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and stop the recording and thank Ms. Ambrise.